My Little Pony, Season 6, Episode 22. PPOV, or Pony Point of View. What else can I say about this episode except great job, Hasbro? So let's go over what the episode is about. The episode is about Twilight and Spike going to the train station and awaiting the return of Applejack, Rarity, and Pinkie Pie from a boat trip that apparently goes wrong, because when they get off of the train, they are soaked, covered in seaweed and mud and blah 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 blah. So Twilight tries to solve the problem of what happened on the boat trip that made them so mad at each other. It turns out to be something so stupid as the three ponies that aren't involved in it, Pinkie Pie, Rarity, and Applejack, they tell their stories from 3 different point of views. And this episode was just so full of so much creativity. And immediately I caught a lot of references that were just beautiful. The first one was definitely a reference to Moby Dick, Rarity's tale, because Applejack acts like a mad seaman that is going after something for revenge, which is exactly what Moby Dick is about. It's about Captain Ahab going after Moby Dick because it took away his leg, if I remember correct. The second tale by Pinkie Pie, I'm not really sure what that refers to. I'm sure it would refer to something like probably Treasure Island, maybe Popeye, something like that. Then there was the third tale. Well, in Applejack's tale, there is a reference that I just found absolutely perfect of Hasbro because it's one of my favorite movies of all time. Rarity's dress, in Applejack's point of view, was Rose Dawson's dress when she gets out of the car when she boards the Titanic. That is absolutely beautiful, and I am so happy, very, very happy that Hasbro did that. Now, the moral of the episode is basically the least important thing in my opinion. Twilight solves the issue by taking them out to sea and proves them exactly what happened based off of what she caught in the stories that they each have in common, which is a cucumber sandwich, bubbles, and waves. So it turns out Applejack, Pinkie Pie, and Rarity attracted a creature whose favorite food is a cucumber sandwich. Kind of a hunch, if you ask me. And Twilight Sparkle basically pulls a Fluttershy by talking to the sea creature that we would look as vicious, but it's actually a sweetheart. They basically make up and realize that they were all in the wrong for accusing each other of things. So they make up and they have another boat party, which is pretty much the end. So the things about this episode that made it fun to watch were not the plot, but just the creativity in it. I mean, come on. We all want to see Applejack as Captain Ahab. That was just freaking hilarious and so much fun to watch. And I'm sure it's going to inspire a lot of fanfic readings. And the other references that were just in this episode were absolutely beautiful. And the moral didn't have to make up for where Hasbro would have to impress the viewers. It wasn't the moral that made this episode worth watching. It was just the creativity of the episode itself. So for that, I am definitely going to give this episode 9.5 out of 10. It's a beautiful episode, very well written, and the creativity levels are just huge, big time, and I just loved it. It took a few watches, but I focused less on the plot and found this episode absolutely enjoyable. There was also references to the Mayflower and all that stuff in it, so that was actually a really, really good episode. I am really looking forward to the next week's episode, Where the Apple Lies, which is going to be pretty interesting. Are we going to actually find out what happened to Applejack's parents? Because it does tell about her family. Are we ever going to get to see her parents? I don't know, guys. This is going to be pretty interesting. And I will actually review another episode since I didn't review it last week either. So let's go over episode 21, Every Little Thing She Does. This episode is basically about Starlight struggling with her friendship lessons and kind of being lazy about it. So she attempts to do 5 friendship lessons in one go, which is just going to end up in a humongous mess. So the plot of this episode is pretty predictable. So what does she do? The thing that she isn't supposed to do, that she learned back in No Second Prances, when she put a spell on Big Mac to talk. She should have learned from this, but yet, here she is. She's doing the same thing. So she basically does a spell that allows compelling persuasion, which is what I could make out of the spells. Thus, she brainwashes 5 of the main 6 to do things for her, which I found very immature of Starlight, and that just makes her character look bad. But then I looked at it this way. What did Twilight Sparkle do in Lesson 0? Let's go over this. Starlight is a student of Twilight Sparkle. Twilight Sparkle was a student of Princess Celestia. Students are going to make both bad and good decisions while learning their lessons. So here's what Starlight did. She did something wrong and learned from it. She apologized and got these assistants from Rainbow Dash, Applejack, Rarity, Pinkie Pie, and Fluttershy to end up doing all of the lessons that she was originally supposed to do in one go while cleaning up the castle. So, yeah, this episode at first was pretty bad to me. But after looking at it in the scenario that all students make mistakes of high mentors, Twilight Sparkle is like Princess Celestia to Twilight Sparkle in Lesson 0. Twilight made a huge mistake in Lesson 0 and is one of the most disturbing episodes I've ever watched because the facial expressions. But in this one, the facial expressions were even a little bit more disturbing. It reminded me a lot of the Season 5 premiere, but altogether, this episode was not that bad. To be honest, Starlight is going to make a lot of mistakes, and I hope that she does turn into a much better character because that was kind of premature of her to do something so predictable, and something that she should have learned from in No Second Prances. So altogether, I will give an 8 out of 10 because it was a good episode, and it just shows that Starlight makes mistakes, and she's trying to learn, but she just went about it in the wrong way. But anyways, guys, tell me what you thought of these episodes in the comments below. And until next time, it's all for now. Like, comment, subscribe for more. And until next time, take care. Sparrow out for now. Brohoth.